taxation without representation. The core of that argument is that we're too often paying for something without reaping any type of benefits in return. Struggle is only a possibility when someone outside looking in lacks perspective and, most importantly, accountability. So it's nothing short of a miracle when a downtrodden 20-year-old who sighs with eyes that see the war too many graduates to the forefront of society as a 40-year-old. How? By doing what all great leaders do. Through compromise, accountability, and some pretty thick skin, Nas was able to bridge the gap every step of the way, so as to put on display the universal understanding that each of us isn't so different from the next man. But how'd he get there? Here's a man who, at 20, denounced the idea of any type of established religion. Don't even talk about God. I don't believe in none of that shit. Your facts are backwards. Somewhere along the way, he found a way to faith without falling victim to the trappings of the sense of entitlement associated with nearly all the world's religions. And I bet you there's a heaven for an atheist. Here's a man who 20 years ago lacked any type of faith in the American school system, and now at 40 has a partnership with one of America's foremost institutions for higher learning. Just a ghetto child trying to learn the traps of the streets. Look at him now. Completely unapologetic for the people he wrote this song for in the first place, except this time with an outlook on a broader level. No matter your religious denomination, your sexual preference, gender, or skin makeup, when and where there's a need for representation, Nas's voice is always the first to the scene to represent you where others might be afraid to take a stand. By some miracle, Nas has come full circle from destitute youth to accomplished adulthood. And at the end of the day, that's the big picture. It is my belief that, more than anything, this is an opportunity to validate the capacity for evolution by focusing on what it means to be an adult. Nas was the rebel at the street corner. Now he's the blueprint for ghetto prisoners who strive for nothing more than our God-given right to grow and prosper. But grown-ups don't have representation in our culture. This isn't a young man's game. This is a means to a grown man's end, and that needs to be represented on film. Now, many of the sentiments on Represent are still relevant. There's no denying that. However, it's my belief that it's due to a lack of representation and accountability on the part of our leaders, not just on a political scale, but on the basic community level. Nobody is showing our young men and women what it is to be a grown-up. It is my hope that through this opportunity we can do just that. Nas has obviously gravitated toward more progressive ideals than those found on Represent, so let's show people what they are and how we got there. It's not hard. All it takes is some subtle imagery of a man deeply reflective and aware of how far he's come, barring circumstances that are still devastatingly relatable. We as men need representation if we are to offer any hope to those same 20-year-olds who feel the same way Nas felt 2 fucking decades ago. Poor children know who they are, and so does the rest of the world. They don't need any more reminders with stale imagery of what the fuck they already know. People know when they're being victimized. What so many don't know is how to overcome it and what that looks like. So let's lead by example and represent by putting it to film. For incarcerated peers, for black girls lost, brothers with daughters. Let's paint a profile of a man who is not perfect, yet through professed financial woes, marital issues, insecurities regarding parenthood, and the loss of loved ones, was still able to persevere at this stage in his life. There is something deeply profound about someone making an effort to help guide the way out of hardship. You know, to shine a light on which paths to take. So let's stop and reflect on what it means to be in that position. Shit, let's represent our scholars and our leaders, working tirelessly to make sure our kids got a shot at a better tomorrow. Let's do it now. The time is now. Because you know what they say about sleep. One time for your mother.